All right, being I got my three-inch exhaust running all the way straight back on John Bell's truck, it made me have to relocate my gas tank, which is usually on the driver's side, right under the bed there, which is right in the way of my exhaust for my driver's side. So I'm moving my exhaust to my gas tank to the rear. So I went ahead and run all my exhaust all the way out the back and down the frame rails on both sides of the truck to give me enough room for my gas tank. Then I went and did a preliminary measurement on what I wanted the side to look like, so that when you look at it from the side, the tank doesn't look really bad. So I kind of notched the ends out of it, and then I made a footprint for the floor, for the center of the truck, center of the gas tank. Then I've taken my Flowmaster box that my exhaust came in, and I'm mocking up my tank. So this is kind of the side of my tank, and this will be the footprint of the center of the tank. And then I'm going to scab in the bottom of it, and I'll actually make this tank out of this cardboard and then install it and do some tweaking on it so that I can make it fit absolutely perfect. Because this gas tank, we're going to have it made out of stainless steel and have a pump in it and all. We're going to end up spending about $1,200–1,300 on a gas tank. So if I take a little bit extra time to make it out of cardboard, I can make it fit absolutely perfectly. And where my, I'm going to use the original fill hole for the where you put your fuel in. It'll run right down right in the front of this tank and make it fit real nice. So let me get back to mocking this up. Once I get it mocked up, I'll show you what it looks like back here in the truck. All right, here's my box that my Flowmaster exhaust came in, and I had cut it down to the dimensions on my drawings, and this is what I come up with. When I get it all together, I can see that how square and the corners look. So I was able to cut an inch off this corner. I cut a little corner off of this, and then when it goes in here, now I can get an exact feel of how it's going to work, how I'm going to mount it, where my cinder's going to go, how my field's going to go, and everything I need to do to send this off and get this fabricated out of stainless steel for me. So yeah, fabricating this up out of cardboard is just a great little way to do this, and it'll help you out in the way it looks and all that, because you can kind of see how it looks from the side. It's really going to look good from the side. All right, you can see here kind of how it's going to fit. I've got it bungeed in place right here. So that shows me that where this is coming in, it's going to hit it right here. So I can just remove this. I can slide it back just a little bit. I can lay out the way that it's going to mount on each side. And then where it comes in this fill, I'm actually going to notch this corner and aim my fill inlet right where I need it to go, which would have been really, really hard without having this mocked up and trying to explain to how to have that done. And then I can put in here right where I need to put in my cinder and my fuel pump, and give me an idea of how it looks in the truck. So I'll look at this truck from behind and see how it looks. I'll look at it from the side and see how it looks. If I want to change a little bit, I can just take a marker and mark the side of it and change it right here, right easy. So let me get back at fitting this in, and I'll show you what this looks like when we get our tank back from Rick's. Well, I got with Rick's gas tank, and I have sent the measurements and designs to Rick. It's really handy now having a cell phone with the camera, because I just took a picture of what I drew, send it right to Rick's by the phone, and they got back with me, said all that's good, and they will start fabricating my gas tank for me. So meanwhile, I went ahead and yanked the rear axle out from under it. This motor, being that it's got way over 600 foot-pounds of torque, is going to be hard on this factory 10 bolt that's in here. Actually, it's going to be all I can do to make this 10 bolt hold up to the amount of power that's going to come out of that. But if we don't have true slicks on it and at the drag strip, it's just going to blow the tires off anyway. So that'll give me a little less pressure on my rear end. But doing so, as this thing accelerates, it's going to try to twist that axle up into the bottom of the bed. So I'm going to run this cow track system. Used to, on leaf springs, they had traction bars, and the traction bars limited your travel, made them ride rough, and really didn't work real well. Kind of helped on the wheel hop, but not much help there. This cow track system actually will pivot, so when the load hits this rear end and it goes to twist up, this bar will push forward on this pivot. I'll put a solid aluminum pin where the bushing was in the front leaf spring. This will come down on the spring and it'll just lock that rear end almost like a 4-link. It's tunable. I can take some preload out of it so it gives a little give, or I can take it tighten it up and get it all out of there. Put slicks on this thing and bam, when it hits, it's gonna go hard. In doing so, when I do that though, it's gonna stop these axle tubes from rotating, which will stop the whole rim from rotating. But the only thing connecting this axle tube to this center pumpkin here is pressed in with 2 spot welds. So to help relieve that pressure, I welded that solid all the way around on both sides. So that beefs up my traction control system as much as I can do with this rear end. Then also when you hit it and that pinion puts pressure on that carrier, it's going to try to push that carrier out of the back of the rear end. So a lot of times in a lot of race cars you'll see a big gusset that goes across the top and maybe across the bottom or across the back. Well, that's what that's for, to hold that from axle flexing. What I'm going to do in this case, I got this from Trick Flow. I have some preload pins I can tighten up. So I'll install this on there all the way around. I'll preload pressure right on the back of these caps on both sides, and it should give me enough strength to hold my carrier in place. But now if you take this monster to the drag strip with slicks on it and hit it, there's still a good chance that you could tear something up in this rear end. I'm going to change that factory carrier out and put me an Auburn Pause unit in it. And I'll probably set my backlash up a little bit tighter and a little more preload, knowing that it is going to get hit pretty hard. And then we'll just see what happens. Hopefully it'll hold up to the abuse we're fixing to put to it. The SEMA truck I've got up front, it's about ready to go. I'm going to try to do one more video on it. It's supposed to leave next week on the 26th on its trip to Vegas. So hopefully I can do one last walk around on it and show you what it all looks like, and do a last update before we get to Vegas. When I get to Vegas, I'm going to do my best to upload videos and try to keep it current. I might not be able to because of the amount of time it takes to download stuff to YouTube. It takes a minute. So we'll see how that goes, and stay tuned for my next post.